When trust is broken, whether through betrayal, abuse, or loss, it shakes our entire foundation. It makes us question everything and everyone. Hi, family. Welcome back to If Only One Overcomes. I'm Katie Lee, and I'm so honored to walk this journey with you. If this is your first time tuning in, this podcast is all about healing, faith, and overcoming life's toughest battles. Last week, we talked about forgiveness, why it's necessary for healing, and how to start releasing pain. However, once you start to let go, there's another challenge, learning to trust again. Whether it's trusting yourself, other people, or even God after trauma, it can feel impossible. But today, we're going to talk about how trust can be rebuilt step by step. In order to rebuild trust, we have to have an understanding of the impact of broken trust. When trust is broken, whether through betrayal, abuse, or loss, it shakes our entire foundation. It makes us question everything and everyone. Trust is a fragile thing, easy to break, hard to repair, and even harder to rebuild when it's been shattered by trauma. So let's go over what happens when we lose trust. When we lose trust, we build walls to protect ourselves, but those walls can also keep out people who genuinely care, and they can isolate us as well. When we lose trust, we often second guess everything, even our own decisions and voice. When we lose trust, we may struggle to let people in and to start new relationships, fearing abandonment or hurt. Now let's take a look at two biblical perspectives. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Isaiah 26, 3 and 4. You will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast because they trust in you. Broken trust doesn't just affect our relationship with others. It disrupts how we see ourselves and even how we view God. But healing is possible when we begin rebuilding from the inside out. So here are 3 steps to rebuilding trust. 1. Rebuild trust in yourself. Trauma makes us doubt our own judgment. You may wonder, was it my fault? Why didn't I see the signs? But the truth is, this doesn't cancel your discernment, and your pain does not disqualify your purpose. So let's go ahead and move on with learning how to rebuild trust in ourselves. We have to start small. Make a promise to yourself and keep it. Honor commitments to yourself. Gain confidence through consistency. It might be as simple as journaling, taking a walk, or saying no to something that drains you. Every time you follow through, you remind your inner self, I can be trusted. Separate the past from the present. The voice of trauma says, you always mess up. Remind yourself that your past mistakes does not define who you are. The voice of healing says, you made a decision based on who you were and what you knew at the time, and now you're learning. Speak life over your inner dialogue. Instead of rehearsing your failures, reflect on your growth. Affirm yourself each day. I can make wise decisions. I am safe with myself. Healing means learning to trust yourself again. Pray for wisdom and clarity. Ask God to sharpen your discernment, help you recognize red flags, and give you peace in your decisions. James 1:5. If any of you lack wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously, and it will be given to you. Give yourself grace. Rebuilding trust is a process. You won't get it right every time, and that's okay. Healing doesn't demand perfection. It asks for progress and presence. 2. Rebuilding trust in others. After betrayal or brokenness, opening your heart again can feel like standing in a battlefield without armor. Not everyone deserves a front row seat in your life, but some people do. When someone has hurt you, lied to you, used you, or even abandoned you, it's natural to build walls instead of bridges. But healing invites us to set boundaries, not barriers. Rebuilding trust doesn't mean handing your heart over to everyone. It means learning how to discern who is safe, who is healthy, and who is aligned with where God is taking you. So here is how to begin rebuilding trust in others. Establish boundaries. Trust must be earned and not freely given. Just because someone wants access to your life doesn't mean they've earned it. Allow trust to develop over time. Observe their consistency, their character, and how they handle your vulnerability. Trust is built through truth, time, and tested behavior. Start small, not deep, and redefine what safe looks like. You don't have to share your whole story at once. Try trusting others with small parts of your life, your thoughts, your boundaries, your needs, and see how they respond. Trust doesn't mean access, it means safety, and safe people will always respect your no, take responsibility when they mess up, celebrate your growth and not compete with it, walk with you, not ahead of you or above you. Talk to God about who you let in your life. Don't just ask, do they seem good? Ask God, are they good for where you're taking me? Let the Holy Spirit guide your relationships, even the new ones. Forgive, but don't forget what you have learned. Forgiveness clears the pathway forward. Discernment helps you walk it wisely. You can forgive someone and still protect your peace with firm, healthy boundaries. 3. Rebuilding trust in God. When we experience deep pain, it's natural to ask, God, where were you? And sometimes it's not just the pain of what happened, it's the silence that follow, the unanswered prayer, the timeline that didn't go the way we hoped, the miracle that didn't come. But healing invites us to sit with God, even in the aches, not just when we have answers, but when all we have is His presence. Now, here's how we begin to rebuilding trust in God. Be honest in your prayers. You don't have to pretend to be okay with God. Tell Him what hurt, what confused you, what left you feeling abandoned. He's not intimidated by your honesty. He invites it. Reflect on how God has been there with you in the past. He's faithful even when we're broken. Write down the prayers He's already answered, the peace you felt when there was no reason, the doors that opened when others closed. Sometimes trust is rebuilt when remembering the past with gratitude, not just grieving it. Let your pain lead you towards God, not away from Him. So lean into the Word, even when you feel distant. The Bible isn't just a book, it's an anchor. Let God's promises remind you of what's true, even when your emotions feel loud. Release control and surrender the timeline. Rebuilding trust means saying, even when I don't understand, I still believe you're good. That's not weak faith, that's brave faith. Invite God into your healing, not just in your outcome. Let Him walk with you in the middle, in the unraveling, in the becoming. You don't need to feel fixed to be held by God. Affirm this. I am learning to trust again, myself, others, and God. Healing doesn't forget. It means choosing hope over fear. Well, overcomers, we are at the end. I want you to take one small step towards trust this week. Whether it's trusting yourself with a decision, opening up to a friend, or praying honestly to God about your doubts, just take one step. Next week, we're diving into self-worth, how to reclaim your identity after trauma. You don't want to miss this one. If today's episode spoke to you, please share it with someone who might need it. And if you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, or connect with me on social media at If Only One Overcomes. I would love to hear from you. And as always, remember, your life is too important because God has a plan and a purpose for your life. Until the next episode, God bless.